Hello, my name is Noura Erakat. I am a New Voices fellow from between 2005 to 2007 when I worked with the U.S. campaign to end the Israeli occupation as a national grassroots organizer and legal advocate. Since then, I've gone on to work on the Hill and achieved one of my penultimate dreams, which is to teach at the university level. I've been an adjunct professor at Georgetown University, teaching international human rights law in the Middle East. This past spring academic semester, I spent it with my partner and husband in living in Beirut, Lebanon, where I was combining activism and advocacy, working with the American University in Beirut to do some collaborative research around international, basically the United Nations in the Middle East, and situating its intervention in an international law paradigm. And I looked specifically at Israel's blockade of Gaza and where that fit in international law and the adequacy or lack thereof of the UN's response to it. I also worked with a Lebanese human rights attorney, a trailblazing attorney, really, who I continue to work with in the sense that I'm working from the States to help him institutionalize all of his work in some sort of a legal institution that's akin to the ACLU or the Center for Constitutional Rights here in the US, to do the same with his work in Lebanon. With him, I worked to examine and to defend Iraqi refugees who were held in administrative detention by Lebanese security. And now that I'm back in the States, I'm continuing to teach, and I've actually achieved something that's somewhat elusive in the US, which is to truly be a human rights attorney here in the United States, which is really difficult because in the US, as we know, international law is dismissed as a non-entity and referred to as foreign law, as opposed to something that actually supersedes our national and domestic legislation. And specifically, I'm working with a Palestinian NGO called Badil. Badil in Arabic means alternative, and Badil is a resource center for Palestinian refugee and residency rights. Their board is comprised of refugees from throughout the Middle East, which is a unique model in that they empower Palestinian refugees to be stakeholders in the peace process, which otherwise excludes them completely as participants. And Badil also has a legal department which focuses on UN advocacy, both advocacy within UN treaty-making bodies in Geneva, as well as advocacy vis-a-vis the diplomatic missions in New York, UN to the UN, as well as what I'm expanding it to, which is direct legislative advocacy in the sense of lobbying Congress and the US administration. And in this capacity, I file parallel reports to the treaty-making bodies. I lobby the diplomatic missions in New York, and I lobby our Congress and our U.S. administration in order to further Palestinian rights, and specifically those rights concerning Palestinian refugees and internally displaced persons. And I am so pleased and happy to say that I am actually a human rights attorney, working in the US, based in the US, and it's a unique model and one that I continue to create with each day. So I thank you, New Voices, for helping me come this far. And for me, I know the path doesn't stop here. In addition to expanding this role and institutionalizing it in the US, I'm also considering for the first time to go back to school to continue to get a PhD in law so that I can teach on a more regular basis. But where I'm at right now is really, really fantastic and constructive, and I wouldn't be here without New Voices. Thank you.